Come on, you Spurs. Right, I think we finally got that right. Can you guys hear me? This is Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Tottenham. Today we are going to look back at the match between Tottenham and Villa. We ended up coming away 2-1 losers. Third loss on the trot. Is this Tottenham on the slide or just a blip on the way to victory? To discuss this with me, I've got three amazing guests with us today. I've got Falabi. I think Falabi is in Dubai or something. And then I've got Jose from Talking Ball. And I've also got Colin from Talking Ball. They're amazing guests. Thank you. Guys, welcome them and give them a big, huge round of applause. I'm not sure how I do this on this machine here, but hey, I'll try and work it out somewhere down the line. Falabi, how are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. Thank you, Soji, for having me. It's been a while since I've been actually on this show, and I'm glad to be invited back again. And I'm actually in Abuja.
Oh wow! Okay, fantastic. It's great to have you back. Yeah. Fantastic. Yes.
Bye. In Abuja.
Beautiful. So we have Jose. Jose, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Within myself, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, can't grumble. Sunday, yeah, I'm all right.
Okay, we'll come to the scoreline in a minute, and maybe that will cheer you up a little bit. Colin. Colin also is a host on Talking Ball. I'll put the links for Talking Ball in the comment section. Please all go there and subscribe to the channel, the Spurs channel as well. And they've been very, very gracious to me in the past, so show them some love, and yes, leave, go in there, subscribe, comments, and share as well. Colin, welcome on board. How are you?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm okay. You know, once I saw the lineup, I saw what we were dealing with today. You know, it was always going to be cagey. It was going to be tough. Got some complaints, but I mean, on the whole, you know, pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Got my health. I mean, you know, got that at least. So some people don't even have that. So no, well, doing all right. So thank you again for having me on, man.
That's something to be grateful for. We are all grateful to be alive, healthy, and well. So yes, welcome back. So Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. Now this is the third time they beat us on the trot under Unai Emery. We lost twice against them last season. A little bit different. This one felt like. I mean, that sort of that says it all. So yeah, this is the third time on the trot. I mean, I said we've lost against Villa in the last couple of seasons. So yes, Jose, tell me. I mean, let's just have a look at the lineup that we had at the beginning. You know, maybe we should ask Colin to do this, because Colin was he kind of talked about the weird lineup, and then we'll take from Falabi, and then Jose we'll take your view on the lineup. Yeah. So before we do that, let's just do a wee bit of housekeeping, if you like. I mean, normally we will ask folks to subscribe to the channel. Leave their comments in this comment section below. Share. So yes, thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate your support, and yeah, Colin, it's all yours. Tell me.
The starting lineup. So I mean, everyone had been. We got a lot of things that a lot of people wanted to see. I've heard a lot of people asking to see Kulu in that you know, central, you know, attacking midfield role. We saw him there for a lot of the match today. I've seen people calling for, people calling for for why can't I think of his name right now? Emerson. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. For Emerson to be one of the central defenders, just because he's got a little more pace. We saw that today. But yeah, it was always kind of patchwork. It's not really our full. It's not really, you know, it's a lot of players playing out of position. We had two full backs basically playing center backs. it was quite a strange lineup. So I knew that it wasn't going to be like an open and shut. I knew we weren't gonna take him to the cleaners, you know. But yeah, I was interested. It was an interesting lineup, very attacking lineup, which I liked. We didn't start any of Højbjerg or Skip, or we didn't start any of those more defensive minded midfielders, which I thought was nice. So yeah, and it looked like maybe Ryan Hill had maybe impressed during his 2 weeks, during international break when he didn't get called up. So I was cautiously optimistic, but things go how they go. But yeah, I thought the lineup was interesting to say the least. Definitely an interesting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I probably. Jose, what do you think? I mean, let's go Falabi first. So just tell me, Falabi, with the lineup.
Well, first and foremost, you can only go with the players you have. We have 13 players out, injured, and then an extra 2 on suspension. So, in fact, I would say probably our best 2 players of the so far this season on suspension in Romario and Basuma. So, when I saw that, my biggest worry was 3 main players: our 2 central defenders, and excuse me, Gil on the left. I always feel Gil is a featherweight and loses the ball too easily. And Davis, well, we had no choice but playing Davis in center because he was never going to replace Destiny on the left. And it was a choice between Emerson Royal and Eric Dyer in the other central defensive position. So he had no choice but to play Emerson Royal because of we need speed. We needed speed in the middle of the defense. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, we can hear you. Maybe you want to adjust your camera a little bit so we can see your face. We're seeing your chest at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Right. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. I think that's much better. Oh, nope. Gone off again.
No.
A bit more.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh dear. I don't. Maybe I shouldn't have asked you to adjust anything. Right. I think we can see you now. Yes.
Perfect, Bobby. Perfect.
We had no choice but to play Emerson Royal in the other one. So my biggest issue was always going to be, as I say it, our midfield needs to hold the play, so our defense will not be under so much pressure. So maybe if our midfield holds the play, our defense and our central defenders will look better than they actually are. But okay. Once we won, and I was actually a bit, there was no choice. Big Ang is not going to change his philosophy. He's not going to change his philosophy of just pure 100% attack. So I looked at it and I said to myself, okay, I believe in Lo Celso and Bentancur, and I wanted to see this combination. I really wanted to see this combination very much. And I was looking forward to it, and I was happy with the way it started until that deliberate attack and deliberate... Anyway, we're on air, so let me say too much. Having to be substituted because what I really want to say, I can't say.
And that's okay. I know we've sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, are you done? Sorry, Falabi. I didn't. Sorry. In terms of the lineup. Finished. Okay. Jose.
No, I said the lineups were the best. What we had, what the players we had and everything. There was no choice about the lineup of what we had.
Right.
We got 13 players on the bench injury list injury room. You know,
Okay.
what do we have? We go with what you play with what you got, and that's what we have.
Let's hear from Jose. Jose, I mean, I know everyone's talked about how we've had to shuffle and change and put together a makeshift starting 11, if you like. But you kind of have choices, don't you, in terms of how you line up. You could go all the way attacking, or you could go a little bit conservative, depending on what philosophy you wanted to adopt. But I think Ange opted for the attacking philosophy. And what do you think? I mean, it nearly paid off, but I think we kind of came short in the end. Tell me.
Right. Firstly, Terry Venables, may you rest in peace.
Oh, thank you so
Amen.
much for that.
Amen.
Yeah, we need to acknowledge that. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
He was a very good manager for a young. He had a really exciting young Crystal Palace side when he managed them. He was a very good manager for England, forward thinking, and he was a very good manager for us. Although, yeah, for us he was a very good manager, but there was a falling out with him and the hierarchy, and therefore he wasn't with us for too long. But whilst he was with us, he was an exciting manager to have. In his own right, he was a great footballer.
Yes, he was.
Well distinguished and a great footballer, and also a great representative at club level and also at international level for England. And he will sorely be missed. He was one of the characters of the game.
Eltel, rest in peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now my mind down onto the game. Right. I'm disappointed with the result because I never want to see us lose. However, I'm going to say that was probably the best we've played all season. I can't remember us playing a full 45 minutes in the whole of this season where we were at it for the whole 45 minutes. In the first half, we were at it for 45 minutes. I think we were at it in the second half, but I think we ran out of steam. We probably ran out of steam with at least 20 minutes to go. I think I think our legs were shot by then, even though we still created chances. If I look at what we did today, so basically we had 18 shots on goal. We forced Martinez into 6 saves. We've hit the woodwork twice. We had 3 goals disallowed for offside, and we didn't take our chances. So, you know, at the end of the day, I've got to look at the positives. The negative is we lost the game, but I need to look at the positives. Lo Celso hasn't had many minutes at all for club and country this year. So if you look at him since the start of the season in August, he's had very, very few minutes since August for both club and country combined. Brian Hill, very, very few minutes as well. Bentancur, very, very few minutes. I mean, the list goes on and on and on about people that have had few minutes. However, I thought we played really well in the sense of it was the most attack-minded, and we did play front foot football for the first, well, I'd say for the first 70 minutes of the game. We still played front foot football after that, but we didn't look as potent because I think our legs were shot. So on that, I'm, as I said, disappointed with the result, but I'm not disappointed with the effort that we put into the game.
Right. I think you probably find that a lot of Spurs fans will agree with you, especially if you are of the positive bent, if you like. I mean, if you want to go negative, you might go and pick holes and say that maybe we could have made a few changes or you could have played differently. And if you want to go extreme, you find those who will tell you that Daniel Levy should have bought more central defenders. If you bought more central defenders, we wouldn't be in this position. And blah, 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 and all of that. But however, I mean, like, as you rightly pointed out, so, I mean, we gave a good account of ourselves at the start. I mean, well, throughout the match, actually. So I wouldn't quite put it down to lack of effort. I mean, disappointing outcome in the end. When you look at Unai Emery, I mean, I know a lot of fans have this perception that look, he is a very, very good manager. I mean, he sets up his teams very, very effectively, and they proved that today. They played a very high line, and for some reason we just couldn't sort of break that down, you know. And I mean, this brings me to the comments section. Do you want to take the comments? One of the comments, Falabi. First one from Dave Clark. Dave Clark says, can you see his comments?
David Clark says, I love Son, but seriously, he had 40 yards of space in front of himself, and to be offside is ridiculous. If one of my ex-Sunday League strikers did that, I would have been fuming. Sorry, no excuses. Then he says, God help us next week if we play Royale and Davis at centre backs against Manchester City. Davis for the goal, no physicality to stop Torres' run to the ball. And second goal, no pressure on any of the ball carriers. And then lastly, David says, Gill plays like he's having a kickabout with his mates on the park with Coates as goals. The kid is a six-a-side player. When Sonny, when Kulu first came, he had a final product, but sorry, he is gone. So I think he's talking about Sonny and Kulu not having final products.
Okay, I mean...
Okay.
Right.
What do you want me to take? Which one?
Yeah, go ahead. And obviously, I mean, you want to sort of add to those comments, agree, disagree. I mean, I'd like just to make out, sort of point out to guys who watching, wherever you're watching from. If you're watching this live, I mean, let's hear from you and see what's your point of view. Do you agree with Dave or do you disagree? And if you disagree, why do you disagree? So let's hear from you, wherever you're watching us from. Yes, Falabi, do you have any comments on Dave's comments?
Yes, I do. I'll take the one of the central defenders for next week.
Right, so let's have a look at that one. That's the one. This is the one here.
Do we have a choice? Who are we going to play if we don't play Davis and Emerson Rowe? We play Davis and Dyer? Because you've got to play Davis on the left as central defender, because you've got one of our central defenders injured and the other one is
suspended.
Still suspended.
Yeah.
So what choice do you have? You know, it's the reality of the situation we're in. I mean, I hate it more than anybody else. You know, the mention of Royal and Davis, you know, I just say, look, please, Lord God, please, this next 90 minutes or 110 minutes, please, just get them over and done with. Let me just not go through them. You know, that's the way I say it. No, truthfully, you can laugh, but that's the way I say it. Let me just not go through it. You know, let me go for a drive for 2 hours and switch off my phone, switch off all my social networks, and just come back and just hear the result. Then the other one, for the first goal, first of all, there was no need for the free kick. And then there was no, I mean,
Agreed,
Davis was just sleeping. Pardon? What did you say?
I was saying I agree that we should never have given away that free kick to begin with.
There was no need for that free kick.
Yeah.
Just hold the player.
Not
There's no need. There's no need. The whistle is about to be blown. It's half time. You've controlled the first 45 minutes. You put them under a coach. Villa have not been under that kind of coach in the 45 minutes, home or away, throughout this season. Throughout this season, they've not been shaken like that. You shook them. And now you just give them a chance to come back and level with you, because that's why I said that we did not play with any football brain. You know, you don't always need to rush in or need to make a tackle to win the ball. Hold your space. You don't need, look at how far away you are from your goal. You don't need to do anything. Just hold the player up.
Yeah, I mean, that was disappointing in that, from a disappointing end to that first half. Colin, you wanted to say something about about the comments from Dave.
Yeah. So I guess I just want to say, well, he's got lots of good comments in here. Hold on, let me see. So the first one, yeah, it's hard to argue a lot with his take on Sonny. You know, I still, do you think? I think maybe Sonny is not 100% used to playing in this striker role. I don't know. There's something's off with him lately. I'm not really sure what that is, but you could tell that the whole team, everything, the plan kind of fell apart as soon as Bentancur was forced off the pitch. And so I think up until then we had looked great. But then once we lost him, we lost a bit of impetus. We lost a bit of, that progression up the pitch. Whereas, we had to replace him with Højbjerg, who is more of a side to side, careful player, and doesn't take as many risks, isn't as technically adept. And yeah, you could tell that we were not prepared for that at all. And to me, it just seemed like that was the beginning of the drop off. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. He was one of the best players we had on the pitch, but it's just a shame that I could go on and on about being disgusted with Matty Cash for that. You know what I mean, for that tackle. But what would it get me? And it was really dirty. He clearly meant to clean him out. But what can you do? What can you do? But exactly, intent, 100%. And then people will have a go at. I was just thinking back. Remember whenever, and this is a terrible thing, when Andre Gomez broke his leg from that Son tackle, and everyone was like, "Oh, Son meant to break his leg. Son did it on purpose." And then this guy clearly went for the knee that Bentancur recently had surgery on, had just finally rehabbed back to full fitness, maybe just about, and we don't hear anything about that. We don't hear anything about, oh, it was, what a dirty play, that was on purpose. It's only, I don't know. I don't want to play the whole there's an agenda against Spurs card, because I know that every team feels like that, with their own team. But yeah, something didn't feel right about that. And then he, yeah, that really bothered me. And I feel like the team started to unravel a bit after that happened.
Right. So, I mean, you feel that Milan had a plan to take out Bentancur, and they kind of succeeded in that, and they got away with it. Quite like, yeah, I mean, they got away with one in that respect. Yeah. Maybe they should have been down to 10 men. I think he had a second foul, which he should have got a yellow card against Udogie, and that went, well, just went unpunished. And I guess from our perspective, let's have a look at the goals, right? So the first goal goes in from us. I mean, I think before that we actually scored a goal that was ruled out. Is that right? I mean, or was that the first? Remind me. I've lost track of what happened in that match now. Jose, do you want to talk us through the first goal? Jose, are you there? I think your mic is muted. I can't hear you.
Muted. Sorry, I did. I'd muted myself. Sorry. Yeah, I'd muted myself. Talk us through the first goal. Lo Celso's goal. So it was a corner. Yeah, it was a corner, and it headed out. It was headed out. It's come to him on the edge of the box, and he's hit it first time. It's ricocheted off either Carlos or Konza, and just beaten Martinez. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's more than it's no less than what we deserved. Up until Bentancur got injured, I think that was in around the 27th minute or whatever. Up until he got up until that tackle, shall I say, because he came off, he carried on for another 3 or 4 minutes and then came off. Up until the 27th minute, we were already 1-0 up. But up until the 27th minute, the amount of chances that we created, and we fluffed our lines, or we didn't score, or we didn't take them, or the goalkeeper saved them, it could have been a different result. Now, I go back to the Chelsea game. In the first 25 minutes of the Chelsea game, we could have been 3-0 up against Chelsea as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is fine lines, it is fine margins. I don't think I have to recap exactly what I've said already again about, you know, players that have had hardly no minutes of play, you know, had hardly no minutes this season, and they all played today, and we ran out of steam towards the end, but we were still attacking at the end. At the end of the day, I'm disappointed, Justin, that we got the loss. Other than that, I think we've done really, really well.
I think
So
I'm inclined to agree with you. I mean, it just sort of reflects David Clark's comments. He says, of course, that doesn't mean for 1 minute I'm critical of Ange. No coach could cope with this many top players missing. So I'm still behind him, and when our players are back, we will be back on track. And I think these things, like, how do you put it now? You kind of get them. If you look at Newcastle yesterday against Chelsea, they also had a very, very long list of players that were out. You know, I think they had probably about 13 players out as well. I mean, you had people like Isaac out, Callum Wilson out. You had
no, Isaac played. Isaac, Isaac scored. Isaac played yesterday. He played from the start. Grimaris played from
No,
the start.
Isaac didn't play. Isaac didn't play.
Yeah, Isaac scored. He scored.
No, it wasn't Isaac that scored.
First goal, I believe.
Isaac scored the first goal.
Hold up 1 second.
Isaac made them go 1-0 up. Isaac played for about 70 minutes of the game, if not longer.
Yeah,
he started. Isaac.
Grimaris
played as well.
He played for more than 70 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say Isaac started. Newcastle had players come back. It was the week before. We had 9 injuries. Yeah, so the week before the international break,
Isaac made a big difference.
Yeah, they had 11 players out before the international break in the last game. We had 9. They had 11. Now, can I just say that today on the Tottenham bench, because I spoke to Colin before the match, and today on the Tottenham bench, we had 2 goalkeepers and 6 outfield players. So we didn't even field 9 subs. We only had 8 subs today.
Oh wow!
So
yeah,
therefore,
we
didn't expect. I mean, we could have put another youngster in there. Don't get me wrong, but losing Sarr today, sorry, not today, but not having Sarr in the squad either today. Postecoglou only fielded 8 subs, and 2 of them were goalkeepers. So we only had 6 outfield players as substitutes today. Where every other game we've had 8 outfields. Where every other game we've had 8 outfield players and a goalkeeper. Today we only had 6 outfield.
Can you imagine if we would have had Sarr as an option instead of like Skip? I know that nothing against Skip. Skip's a nice guy, but he's not the player you want when you need like a creative spark. Whereas I feel like Sarr.
Nice guys don't get you 3 points.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Like McGinn, we need a jerk like McGinn on the squad.
Sorry.
Oh, I said we need some mean players like McGinn in the squad. Yeah. He was particularly not dirty, but he was flirting right on the edge of being a dirty player in that match, I thought, and it worked out for him. It was helpful.
We need Roy Keane in that midfield. Yeah, and Romero we need back. Look, nice guys do not get you 3 points. Skip running up and down the field. I don't want to say what I want to say, but
Biss is back next game.
Yeah, hopefully he can start. I mean, hopefully he plays well.
Bissouma's back next game.
He's back next game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just hoping. I mean, Bissouma is back. Romero is still suspended. I'm hoping Bentancur is just a slight knock. And I'm sincerely and hoping that VDV is not the injury that they're saying is a serious injury as they're saying it is. I hope he's back before the end of January.
I'm sorry, who was it? You cut out right when you Sorry, who? Bobby, who are you
VDD.
speaking of?
VDD.
Oh, with you now. I got you now. Yeah. We could surely use him in his pace. Oh my God, he would have been helpful today with that pace that he's got
We
for
need it.
sure. Yeah, I thought
And
Madison
we
would be our
also
biggest
need,
miss, but Lo Celso did a great job
it's
filling
not.
in.
Madison, I've always said it, Madison is not going to be our biggest miss. You know, so far for me, I don't know about anybody else, but so far for me, our best player so far this season has been Basuma.
Yeah, someone said Captain Grammar
Basuma's
says,
looked really
despite
good.
all the obvious frailties, Spurs played some fantastic football, which I enjoyed immensely and could
They
easily
did.
have won the game comfortably. I'm still upbeat for Ange project. Now, I mean, speaking of Ange projects, I mean, I guess a lot of people will tell you that given Ange's history, it's not unusual to have these blips on the way to him getting the players to play the way he wants them to play and all singing from the same hymn sheet. And they seem to have done that quite well today. I mean, granted, the scoreline didn't actually prove, but they created the opportunities, and taking those opportunities will be a totally different story now. But hey, it is what it is. Unfortunate outcome in terms of the result, but in terms of performance, I don't think we can actually fault the guys at all. I mean, yeah. So what's his name? Someone says Captain Grandma also says. Hang on, let's have a look. I'm just trying to figure out on the comment. Do you want to check that? Do you want to check the next one, Colin?
Sure. Yeah. What do we got here?
The one
so
says Dave Clark
that one,
saying yes, well, Højbjerg kept possession.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me find it here. So, but Højbjerg did keep possession. He didn't give the ball away. You're right. I agree with that. He did the job Ange told him to do, and others didn't. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Højbjerg's definitely looked worse in matches before. He's definitely looked worse than that in the past, but he's just not the same type of player. You know what I mean? You just, whenever he comes on, it automatically changes the game some because he's not as creative. He's not quite as technical and technically skillful as as Rodrigo Bentancur. And so he comes on, he plays a little more safe. He does have some nice chipped passes, forward. He doesn't. He's done a lot better job this season at playing forward more than playing, side to side like we did under Conte, like we did under Jose to an extent. But yeah, I can't fault him. He didn't do anything wrong. It was just that whenever he came on, the dynamic of the game changed some. It seemed like we took our foot off the gas pedal just a little bit. And with a team like Villa that has a really potent attack, which we knew they did coming in, which is why we picked the center backs that we did, because we needed to have more pace because of their pacey forward players. I think that if you give them just even a bit of a foothold, if you take your foot off the gas just a little bit, they'll come, they'll come get you, and they did. So yeah, I agree though. Oh God, Matty Cash has a reputation for crippling opponents. Does he? I haven't heard. I don't remember. So I don't know much about the guy, except for didn't he hurt Sonny one year as well?
Yeah, I think he did. Yes. So that's that bit of history of that on that as well. Dave Clark also says.
And they took him off right after that too. Oh, sorry.
I'll agree with you. I'll totally agree with you. Our game plan always changes when Højbjerg comes on. You cannot replace a Bentancur with a Højbjerg and still expect to be playing attacking football. That's just it. That's just a fact.
So you're saying that Højbjerg is more a counter type player rather than an iron type player, given the way that both teams, both coaches set up the team. He'll probably suit more contest type approach to the game, right?
So, guys, I mean, totally. You cannot a Bentancur and a Hobart are totally. It's like A and Z.
Right. So look,
Night and
let's if
night
I
and
mean, without being negative, and trying to sort of say, if you want to sort of have a realistic view of where Tottenham are now in terms of the Ange project and Tottenham's project going forward. Now, we've lost 3 games on the trot now. Those 3 games, if you look at them on the face of it, I would say the most painful one, probably the Wolves game, if you like. In fact, this one was actually quite painful in the way that we lost the game, because it was a fact that, look, we didn't take our chances on this one. We didn't create that many chances on the Wolves game. On this one, we actually created a lot of chances. Unfortunately, we didn't take those chances. With the Chelsea one, what you might call the classic Murphy's Law type game, where you have what's it called? You have the if anything could go wrong, it would, and losing 2 players to red cards, and then losing a couple of players to injuries, and all key players as well. But this game is probably a different touch. But we're looking forward to the next game, which is against well, I'm not saying we're looking forward to it. Let's say some people will say we shouldn't be looking forward to the next game against City. But you know what I found in football is that football always sort of upturns the odds in terms of how the outcome unfolds when you look at the prospects of going forward. If you think about it, City are a formidable prospect, however you cut it, you know, and playing them away on their current form and without injury list, and you know, and how things have panned out for us so far this season, it's not a prospect to relish. But hey, what do you guys think? I know we want to try and look forward, and not maybe we have. Let's just. I mean, is this Ange unraveling, or maybe we have a chance to, you know, continue on the same track and sort of get better? What do you guys think?
Oh, we'll continue to improve. Well, I mean, this is any manager. I mean, I don't care if you're, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson. You know, you're faced with these types of injuries with some of your, you know, your most important players in your squad. You're going to struggle. Any manager would struggle. Any team would struggle. And we know that Postecoglou is a manager that likes to make a lot of subs during matches. He wasn't able to, so we saw the fatigue in those players set in towards the end of the match, where normally they would be subbed. They would be, you know, they would be given a rest and some fresher legs to be brought on, but we didn't have that luxury today. And so, yeah, I don't think this is at all any. I don't think you can put the blame on Postecoglou one bit for this. I think he's shown that we're ahead of schedule. I think we might even be victims of him having too good of a start. You know, we all expect it to be like right around this position in the table that we're in now, 5th. And you know, I don't think that's outrageous or bad, considering where we have been lately. The fact we've got a manager that's playing a completely different play style than we've played the past 2 managers. I think everything's good. I think that we'll come back fine once we get some of our injured players back. I think we'll look good. And if we manage to somehow, you know, get a scalp versus City and get some points next weekend, then I mean, that'll really lift spirits and you know, game on. And it's not impossible. Anything can happen in the Premier League.
Absolutely, and I mean, we have a good record against City anyway. It's not like we have a poor record against City. We seem to have City's code, whoever the coach is, you know, under Poch, under what's his name? Even I think Nuno even beat them as well, if I recall. I can't remember exactly, but
first match in charge, his very first match.
Yes. So I mean, it's not like we have a poor record against them. So second.
That was the first match of Nero this season. That season that Nero was the stubborn bearded one was our manager. Yes.
Right.
I'm going for that Nuno beard now, but it's not as good.
I know, right? I think I'm not quite there yet as well. I mean, I'm still some way off.
He's been working on his for a while, you can tell.
I shaved it all off yesterday. But I totally agree with you.
Ah,
I do
Falabi, we could
believe
have been the bearded
that,
bunch.
no, I truly believe I truly agree with you that I truly believe that we are ahead of schedule. For me, my my belief and my pride right now is that all the pundits are happy that we're losing these 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
But all the
Did you watch it?
pundits are
I watched the
also,
Sky Sports coverage.
oh, they hate us. They hate us.
They do. They really. They the whole time. Every time Villa would
Thank
do
you.
something good, they'd be like, "Oh, is Villa gonna get back into it?" It was almost like
Thank
they were willing
you.
it to happen. I don't know if whoever
They
that
were
guy
willing it
was,
to
you
happen.
know, doing I think he had a
No,
20 on the Villa win. I honestly think he had money on the match. He was acting so excited every time
they
they would have a chance. But yeah.
no, it's always Villa is going to score. Villa about to score. Villa. Spurs don't have any central defenders. You know, I find it amazing. At the beginning of the season,
Oh yeah. And
none of the pundits believed that Spurs will end up in the top half of the season. They all said Spurs will end up in the bottom half of the
On the
league,
table.
and they'll be lucky fighting for relegation. And I must mention this guy's name, a former player that went to United. What is his name?
Which one?
Is a coach of United right
former
now.
Oh, Carrick. Not Carrick.
Carrick. Carrick even had the audacity to say that Spurs will be lucky if they don't end up in the relegation fighting position.
That's
So
typical, isn't it? You know,
no,
that is
so
typical.
none of them. They say, "Oh, Harry Kane has left. Harry Kane has left. Spurs can't do anything. Spurs will not even be in the top 10, half of the league at the end of the season." So I'm taking a stride at a time. I'm disappointed with the result today, but as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, I'm proud of the players. I'm proud of the way they continue to fight. I'm proud of the energy they're giving. Yes, they run out of steam, and unfortunately, this now December is now coming to be the tough part of the season. The core part, the knocks, the injuries will now come easier. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, we can hear you. Yes.
So
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
we already have a lot of injuries, but with winter coming and hard tackles coming in, you know, we've got to remain strong. And I'm happy with the supporters that were at the stadium. I'm very proud of the supporters that were at the stadium that did not leave but continued to clap at the end of the game for the players. That will give the players momentum and will give the players that ended up that game with pride that yes, you know, they're on the right track. And Big and as much as I love his philosophy, at times I wish he would just hold back a bit more and just say, okay, guys, just let's hold back a lower line, not such a high line, like we did not have to do at the end of the first half. That's what I have to say.
Right. Thanks for that. So yeah, I mean, I've got a few more comments. Keep the comments coming in. This is Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Tottenham. Today we are just looking back at the match between Tottenham and Villa. We ended up coming away with 3-1 loss. unfortunate loss, if you like, from Spurs perspective. A good win from a Villa's perspective. But if we take the road of, say, we're work in progress, I mean less than half a season into it, we gave a good performance on the day. We spent a lot of good opportunities to extended our lead. Unfortunately we didn't take those chances, and matches of this nature are about fine margin, very, very fine margins at this level, and those margins came out against us this time round. But I mean, I'm pretty upbeat, positive, and I love the way we acquitted ourselves, and of course very much behind Ange, and I totally think we can it's just a blip on the road, and we'll get back to winning ways pretty soon. I don't know how soon, but yeah, it should be pretty soon. Let's have a look at the player ratings, if you like. I know that Vicario. What did you guys think of Vicario? Colin?
I thought Vicario played pretty well. He got lucky with the one that he turned onto the post, but I mean, right. He had to get a hand to it for it to, So I mean, he made the save. That was all him. There was a little luck involved, but he did a great job. I love that. It seems like after the match against Chelsea, where he was forced to come out and be that sweeper keeper. I think he's a little more comfortable doing that now, and it was nice to see him continuing to do that today. Not afraid to come out of his goal when necessary. He made some great saves. I think that the goals that they scored were always going to be tough for him to get a hand to. I mean, that header was very, very close. He was very close in Pau Torres whenever he got ahead to it. I honestly think that there was just too much pace on it for Vicario to get anywhere near it. The second goal, I honestly don't even know how Ollie Watkins got that out of his feet so fast. He received the ball, took a touch, and it was almost like it was a touch and a shot. Like I don't know, it was rapid fire, one touch, boom, and I think that Vicario, even you could tell by his reaction, felt pretty hard done by the defenders there. He felt like they had kind of hung him out to dry, and I agree with him. And so I'd have to give Vicario at least a 7. I think. I think 7's fair.
Okay. Thanks for that.
With the loss, taking the loss into consideration. Yet.
Great stuff. So, Colin has given Vicario a 7. What would you call Vicario?
Me, I'm going to give Vicario a 7.5.
Okay. Jose?
Plus. But unfortunately, I would have given him an 8, but for that, I think he spilled that he saved it, but he spilled it to go against the post, and he was lucky. And he himself knows he was lucky because he even kissed the ball.
I know, right?
He kissed the ball. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. He kissed the ball. I think I love him as a keeper sweeper. I truly do love him. He does not palpitate my heart to go to 1,000 beats per milliseconds like Lloris used to do when we're playing from the back. So I thank him for that.
Yes.
No, I really thank him for that.
Yep.
And he's very composed. And the other thing is the defense, the direct defense are very... He screams and shouts at them, and they're confident with him. And it makes it, but I sincerely do believe he should have been a bit, should I say, stronger, tougher with their first goal. Even though it wasn't his fault, I still believe that their first goal was Davis's fault. That is my point. I'll give the Vicario 7.5.
Okay, great stuff. Thanks for that. Jose?
7.
7. So 7.5, 7, and I would go with 7.5 as well. So yes, moving on to the back four. Pedro Porro. I'd love to hear
Oh
from
man,
guys
Pedro Porro
who are
played
watching us
great.
from wherever they're watching. Leave your call or your marks for the players in the player ratings. We're doing the player ratings now. Everyone's given goalkeeper Vicario 7.5, 7.5, and 1.7. So I think we'll go for a 7.5 for that one. So yes, we're now
No,
on to Pedro Porro.
Porro, 8.
Okay, 8 for Porro. Why would you give him an 8?
Yeah.
He was the best out of all our defenders. He was the best, and he looked the threat. He just looked a threat. He went into all the right spaces. You know, at the end of the day, he ran all day. He did everything that he possibly could. He's got to give it. It's an 8 for me. He's the best out of our back four.
Great
Took
stuff.
some hard knocks and came back too. He got up after some hard tackles and times when, you know what I mean, he never gave up. That guy's got spirit. I'm really glad we have him in our squad. He reminds me a lot of Kieran Trippier, just in that his off, you know, how good he is, you know, on the offensive side of things. But
Yeah.
I think he's a better defender than Trippier, and he's a lot younger. We're lucky that we have him. He didn't fit in so well under Conte, but yeah, I think he's doing great under Postecoglou, and I'm going to echo my buddy and say I want him to. I'm going to put an 8 on him today as well.
So just to give you a snapshot, he picked out a Dogi with an early ball over the top for a big chance and should have shot himself rather than trying to tee up Son not long after. He did get caught on the ball on the edge of his own box late in the first half. He sent a bouncing volley at goal in the second half when Martinez tipped it wide, and then he hit the left-hand post with a low shot, and he was a constant threat for Villa's defence. That's the 8 for Porro.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you just spotted.
Apart from that, you know, Pero. What amazes me is people don't think that Pero can defend, and he can defend. Pero, because the funny thing is, to defend does not mean that you have to be rushing into tackles all the time. It just means hold the player up, hold the ball up, let the player not make a pass, and let your defenders come back and get back into shape. And Pero does that. So I would definitely give Pero an 8.5.
Okay.
Fair.
So
I think that's fair.
yeah, I mean, I think I'll agree with you with everyone so far. I'll give Porro 8. I'll give him an 8. I think he did very well. If you look back at Porro when he first came on, he was a little bit shaky. He made a few errors positionally, and but his game is getting better by the day and by every match. He keeps improving. So I'm very, very agreeable to awarding him top marks for his performance today. Right. Dave Clark says 7.5 for Vicario. He wasn't responsible for the goal, but he made two errors. One tipping onto the post and heading the ball out instead of kicking it. That almost cost us when McGinn also put the ball over from distance. Yes, that was quite good. Right. He says that Porro doesn't convince me out of possession. He downgrades his score for poor last 15 minutes to 7. Okay. I would agree with 8 for everyone. So I think Porro gets an 8. So on the right hand side of central defense, we had Emerson Royal. What do you guys think of Emerson Royal? Do you want to take that, Colin?
Yeah, I'll take it. So I mean, so every time that Jose and I talk, sorry, I called you Jose. That's embarrassing. Jose and I talk. We talk about how we need to check his passport and make sure he's actually Brazilian. He doesn't he doesn't play like your typical Brazilian player. He doesn't have that ball control and that flair. But no, I think he played pretty well, and he you know, in Postecoglou's system, center backs have license to kind of get up the pitch a bit, and he did that a couple times. He drove the ball forward. He every time he got the ball, I wasn't afraid. Whereas if it had been Dyer on the ball, pondering Eric Dyer, I might have been afraid every time he received the ball back, you know, in our own half, close to goal. But with Emerson, I wasn't so worried. I don't know. I think he slides into that central back position pretty well, to be honest. but I would have to probably give him something like a 6.5. 6.5. It's tough for me, but because definitely not perfect. But again, playing out of position, just doing what he's been asked to do. So yeah, 6.5. I'll go 6.5 on him today.
Awesome.
So yeah, 6.5. I think that he's yeah.
Jose.
What do you guys think?
Emerson 6.
Why?
Emerson 6. Okay. Right. Emerson Rubb played as a centre back. He made an important slide tackle in the Spurs box in the first half. Watkins breezed past him though into the space between the Brazilian and Davis to score. He was out of his natural position, but he didn't do that badly. But I'm going to give him a 6.
Okay. Olabi.
Emerson Roy. I am going to give Emerson Roy because I actually believe their second goal was caused by Emerson Roy not making that final tackle to Watkins. Maybe he felt that if he had put
just
out
take him
his
out
leg,
at that point.
maybe it would have... Pardon?
Oh, I was going to say, I wish Emerson would have just taken him out at that point. You know what I mean?
He'll have considered
he was making
penalty.
plays close to goal.
That is what I'm saying. That Emerson Roy moved out of it and was not brave enough. And, that's exactly what I'm saying. So that's why I'm giving Emerson Roy a 5.
Okay, yeah, I can't argue with that too much. I mean, yeah. He's a little ponderous. I mean, he's a player that surprises me. I wonder how he. I don't know.
I agree with you.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Lobby.
No, you didn't. You didn't cut me off. I totally agree with you, and thank you for your point. Is what I'm trying to make. So thank you very much. Your point is what I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Emerson Roy was not being brave. He was just being a chicken. He wasn't being brave. So maybe they see his bravery in training, but in actual match, he's not that. He's not that. So you can't be going with that. So I'm giving Emerson Roy a 5.
Right, let's move on very quickly on this one. The next one would be Mr. Davis. Bobby, what you score, Davis?
I don't want to go first.
Davis?
You don't want to
I'm going for a 6.
6 for Davis from.
He started brightly with some good intercepting headers, but lost Torres for the Villa leveller before the break, and he sent a header over the bar at the other end from the corner. So I'm giving him a 6.
From like this far away, he was like this far from goal too. That was why it was so frustrating.
Thank you. Was Davis
the
not
guy
the
was
one that
was
guarding?
Right, guys. So 6 for Davis. I agree with that. Udogie.
Oh God, he might have been our best player on the pitch today.
Nah, 7.
I'm gonna give him an 8.
Okay. Falabi.
I thought that they didn't get much joy coming down his side. Is all I'm gonna say.
I said 8 from the beginning. I said 8.
Okay, so 7, 8, 7, and I'll give him an 8 as well. So that makes Udogie an easy 7.5 from all of us. In midfield, we had Bentancur to start with, and then we had Giovanni Lo Celso. Tell me, what did you think of that combination? And then we had who do we have in the middle with them? I think it must have been Kulusevski. Yeah. But do you want to go? Do you want to do all 3 in one go?
So midfield started really well.
For me, for me, Benton Court got a 7. He didn't play no more than 27 minutes, but in what he did, he looked the best player on the park for the time that he was on. So he gets a 7 because he didn't play any longer than that.
Okay, Lo Celso. So do all three: Lo Celso, Kulusevski, and Emerson in one,
Gio for me gets an 8.
Okay.
And Kulu, I thought Kulu playing in the middle. I thought he did really well. So for Kulu, he played in a deeper role. He showed plenty of quality. He teed up Hill for an early chance. He then curled a shot wide himself. In between, he had a great chance to score, but curled his effort off the left-hand post when he could have just slotted it home. He then burst up the field on a second half break before playing the ball to Johnson, who couldn't quite slide the ball home. He never stopped running and creating and deserved more from the game. So Kulusevski for me gets an 8.
Okay, so 8 for Kulu, 7 for
He looked great.
Bentancur.
Kulu looked great in that spot.
Lo Celso an 8 as well, right? So 8, 7.
Can I just say, Colin, because me and Colin often on the channel talk right about Kulu. Kulu looked much quicker today than when he plays out wide on the right. Because he beat people in a few runs today. He beat people to the ball. He doesn't usually do that on the right, but today playing from the deeper role, he actually beat players on for a foot race, which was quite impressive for me today.
Fantastic.
He must be one of those guys that's not as quick over a short distance, but quicker over a long distance.
Indeed.
Exactly.
You know, like he picks up speed as he runs.
That is his strength. That is his strength. Exactly.
So, Falabi, do you want to go?
He's also strong as an ox.
So, do you want to rate Kulusevski, Bentancur, and Giovanni Lo Celso?
8.5.
Second?
Kulu is an 8.5. I'd have been 9 if he had scored that goal.
Yeah.
Lo Celso is
okay. Do you know what? Falabi's convinced me. I'm upping my Kulu to a 9.
Boom.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Falabi, do you want to? So
I'm not convincing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so remind me, Falabi, scores for Kulusevski, Bentancur, and Giovanni.
Bentancur, I said Kulu is an 8.5. Bentancur, for me, for the amount of minutes he played, without a doubt, is an 8.5 for the minutes he played.
Okay.
If he had stayed on, who knows? For the minutes he played.
Giovanni Lo Celso?
Who else are you asking me about?
Giovanni Lo Celso.
No, Lo Celso is going to be a 7.5. No, an 8, because he scored the goal.
Beautiful. Right.
He
so
scored the goal. And
Colin?
So it's an 8.
I'd say these guys all have it pretty spot on. I mean, our midfield looked some of our best positions today. I would say.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, Kulu. There's been a lot of people who have been saying that Kulu would be good in the midfield, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't convinced, but today he showed that he absolutely can play there, should play there whenever we need. You know, whenever Madison can't. He's so strong. There'll literally be players like riding him like a horse, and he'll hold them off and shrug them off and get past them. His strength, I think, is his biggest asset. And yeah, I'd say 8.5, 9 for him is good. And then Lo Celso surprised the heck out of me. I didn't think that he would be. I don't know. He's never really seemed up for it in a Spurs shirt, but today he sure did. And when that ball, after that corner, when the ball bounced up and set up for him, I was just thinking, oh my God, please hit it. And I honestly think that might have been a goal, even if it didn't get the deflection. He had just had so much sting on that shot that might have just gone in. I don't know if Martinez, even if he got a hand to it, would have been able to stop it. So that was great from Lo Celso. Lo Celso, let's give him an 8. And then Bentancur, that's a tough one just because he went out injured. But let's go. I'll give him a 7.5.
Beautiful. I think I'll go agree with your assessment, Colin. We'll go with yours. So So yeah, so let's quickly have a look at the front three. Son, Gilles, and O'Brien Hill, and the young man, Brennan Johnson. So do you want to go first for Lobby?
Jill. Brian Jill. I don't like to be. I don't like. I have my views on Brian Jill, and I'd never like to be put on the spot with this young guy because he's a young guy. He tries his best, you know, and all I ever want to do is encourage young people, not of any age, whether young, middle age, even older age. It's just to encourage whatever you're trying to do, to encourage you and encourage you. But Jill, for me, is just a featherweight. Yeah, you beat the first player. You don't need to beat 2 or 3 other players. Just pass the ball. By passing the ball, you are beating the second player. Use your football brain. And Jill always refuses to use his football brain. Because there's a football brain there. There is a football brain there. I don't know.
So tell me, what would you just call
Sorry,
for?
Jill,
What would you just call for Brian Hill? Quickly.
6.5.
6.5. And Son?
Sonny, I love you, Sonny. Oh, it's good. Another 6.5. Because constantly, no, 7. I'll give Sonny a 7.
Sonny is 7. Okay.
Johnson.
Go on.
Johnson, I'll give Johnson a 7 as well.
Okay, Johnson is 7. So tell me, Colin.
So I'll start with Johnson. Johnson's a bit of Brennan Johnson's a bit of a bad boy, and I like that. He's almost got early Dele vibes for me because he's got a lot to prove. He's got sort of a chip on his shoulder coming from a smaller team having to make the step up. He's got he's eager, I feel like, to prove people wrong, and he backs himself. He backs himself against anybody. We saw there was one particular time, I think it was either early in the second half or late on in the first half, but he attempted to do that little move where you poke the ball around one side of a defender and then you run around the other side, you get the ball back. The defender tried to hold him off, and he rode the tackle and he got the ball back. I don't know. I think that Brennan Johnson's going to be a star today. I'll give him a 7, just because he was fighting, getting the ball into dangerous positions. I don't know why the team thinks that nobody can have a shot and they always had to lay it off for Sonny, though. That's one thing that sort of bothers me.
Thank you.
So we've got So we got Brennan Johnson out of the way. Sonny, there's something going on with him. I don't know if it's the captaincy maybe is too much pressure for him, or something. He seems to be trying to do it all himself, and he's also missing or making mistakes he wouldn't have made in the past. And obviously he's aging, he's getting older, but he's not old. And I think he's younger than I am, for God's sakes. But anyway, so Sonny, 6 for Sonny today. It wasn't not his best day at the office at all. He was fairly anonymous. And then I think Brian Hill was better than Sonny today. Brian Hill just ran and ran and ran. First of all, he was always fighting. He was always harrying, pressing.
Yes,
And so that's great. Like you were saying though, he doesn't need to try to beat everybody. I was comparing him before the show started to Lucas Moura, how Lucas Moura would beat 2 players on the dribble, and then he would just continue trying to dribble people, and he would finally get run into a player just and lose the ball. And I think that Brian Hill has that same issue. Whether or not that can be coached out of him, I don't know, and whether or not he can bulk up, I'm not sure. But let's give him 7 as well. I know that's higher than most people will give him, but I want to give him a 7 for today. Just, you know, as one of his first real contributions for the team, and I think he stepped in and did admirably. Not perfect at all, but admirably.
Right. Thanks for that. The substitutes,
I think that leaves Jose.
Højbjerg, and who else came on? Skip, and somebody else came on for Højbjerg and Skip, and who else? And Velis.
Do you want me to tell you about the strikers, or shall I give it a miss?
No,
please.
Give your
give us your thoughts. Yeah.
Right. Very lightweight, very ineffective. All three of them today. I'm not sold on Brennan Johnson at all. Never, and I haven't been since day one. Since day one, I'm not sold on him. I don't know whether I don't know whether we're playing Brennan Johnson right or wrong. I don't know what we're doing, but Brennan Johnson flatters to deceive for me. I think to myself, God, he's got pace, you know, and I'm just waiting. But I kind of agree with Colin. It seems to be they all try to tee up Sonny rather than go for goal themselves. Today, Brian Hill, I like Brian Hill playing in the team. I think Brian Hill's a very good footballer. But Brian Hill was guilty for me today of passing when he should have been more direct and being more direct rather than when he should have. When he was trying to be direct, he was then passing backwards as well. As I said at the start, Sonny for me didn't do much.
That's football brain.
What's football brain for Larby? Not doing nothing.
It's not
because the midfielders played.
When I was saying football brain, I was saying you're saying that when he was making direct and he's not been doing the right.
I understood.
And that's what I'm saying. Use your football brain, and that's what I was saying from the beginning, and I totally agree with you. Use your football brain. It's a football brain, making the right decisions at the right time, and I totally agree with you.
Guys, very, very quickly, what's the substitutes? We had
Højbjerg, Skip, and Velis.
Højbjerg and Skip and Velis. Right. So tell me, what do you think of Højbjerg?
Not enough time to look at Velis, unfortunately. Yeah, I'd say 6 is fair for Højbjerg.
It's just Højbjerg's the only one we could have a look at today, and I'll give him a 6.
The only one I can talk about is Højbjerg. The other two, Skip, just running around, not knowing. I don't even know if he's running. Knows he's on a football pitch. I will not say anymore.
Okay.
Højbjerg was trying to make interceptions. He was trying to read the opposition's passes and intercept, whether with his foot or with his head and everything. So I'll give him credit for trying to read the game in that way.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Guys, we might have to end this now, but thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming in. It's been...
The only thing that, can I just finish off, Soji, just by asking you guys one question?
Yes,
right?
go on.
Where are we in the league?
I think we're 5th now.
That's correct. We are 5th, right?
Yeah.
So that means we're not in the top 4. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay. Levy's going to be shitting himself because we've got Man City next, and all Levy wants is top 4. Doesn't want to win the league, wants top 4. Now that we're 5th, we're no longer in the top 4, and we've got Man City to come. Levy will shit himself, and we will make movements for people in January now because Levy's going to shit.
I've heard a lot of Ivan Toney rumors coming along lately. I wouldn't be mad about that.
Well, it's Chelsea.
Very happy.
Chelsea have turned around and said that they feel that Tottenham are in pole position for Ivan Toney, and that's what Chelsea was saying because Chelsea were looking at him, and their network is saying that they feel Tottenham are in pole position.
Great. I hope they're right.
Yeah, I think. Ultimately, I think we'll probably, if that happens, that'll be fantastic. But we also need I mean, cover in central defense more than anything else. So I think that's possibly our priority, and maybe one more creative player in the middle of the park. Yeah, so 3 players in the January transfer window will be good business if you put it off.
And that's not impossible. 3 players in January, it happens.
Of course, depends on who you get and how much you pay for
Well,
them.
like I said,
and the quality and how they fit to the squad.
all I'm saying now, all I was trying to say is now that we're not in the top 4, Levy presses panic buttons because Levy wants top 4. That's all he wants. He doesn't care about anything else. He just always wants top 4. We're no longer in the top 4, and now we've got to go to Man City next game.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear guys' comments listening wherever you are. If you're listening to this live, fantastic. Leave your comments. If you hear this, afterwards, please leave your comments. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been fantastic having you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I can't even begin to thank you guys enough. You've been
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me on, man.
And yeah, so if you're not if you don't, or you've never seen Jose and Colin, remember they're on Talk and Ball. Left the comments, the links to their channel in the comment section. Please subscribe to the channel. And yes, thank you for joining us today. It's been absolutely fantastic having you.
No, thank you very much. And if people are watching live and on replay, please support Soji and this channel and subscribe, hit the like button, make comments, and also put the notification bell so you know when Soji's going to be coming on.
Thank you so much.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you, Falabi. Any final words?
Well, Eltel, you know, I had the pleasure of having dinner with him a couple of times. You know, may his soul rest in peace. I had a couple of having dinner with him. Every time we had dinner, all we talked about was Spurs and England, and he hated me talking about England because all I would talk about when he went to talk about England, I would talk about Nigerian national team, and he would just talk about JJ Okocha, how he wished that JJ Okocha was an English player. No, we had a couple of times, we had dinner, and even we had dinner with him. I had dinner with him and Abramovich when Abramovich was trying to poach him to be Chelsea coach, and he told Abramovich, after coaching Tottenham, Spurs, this is a diehard Spurs player, and you're talking to me about Chelsea. I don't think I can do it. And I told him I have a gun in the back of my jacket. And Eltel just started laughing. We had a good time. Eltel, rest in peace. You're a good man.
Thank you so much for that insight, Falabi. Absolutely fantastic. Falabi rolls with the big boys, eh?
No,
it sounds like it. It sounds like it.
I'm just here having my cigar, my whiskey by myself. I'm just here. My wife is going to kill me because Soji, I've been on this show and she's going to kill me again. And I say to her, you know what? For Spurs, you can kill me. I don't mind.
Thank you so much, Falabi. Guys, absolutely fantastic. Take care and God bless you. Come on, you Spurs.